PM Modi met President Xi Jinping for the second time in the last 10 months. The two previously met during the BRICS summit in Russia's Kazan in 2024. Chinese President Xi Jinping emphasized that it is important for India and China to come together and be friends in a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Tianjin, as the two leaders held wide-ranging talks to reset the bilateral relations. His remarks come as India and China seek to mend ties, 5 years after the Galwan Valley clashes. The rapprochement also unfolds amid U.S. tariff pressures. India already faces 50% levies, while China has been warned by U.S. President Donald Trump of 200% tariffs if it curbs exports of rare earth magnets to the U.S. During the bilateral meeting, President Xi said, "It is a great pleasure for me to meet you again, this time in Tianjin. Welcome to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Tianjin Summit. Last year, you and I had a successful meeting in Kazan, and the China-India relationship had resumed and started anew. The two sides have implicitly implemented the important consensus we have agreed, and the bilateral exchanges and cooperation have since made new progress." In his opening remarks during delegation-level talks with PM Modi, President Xi said, "The world is going towards transformation. China and India are two of the most civilizational countries. We are the world's two most populous countries and part of the global south. It is vital to be friends, a good neighbor, and the dragon and the elephant to come together." The Chinese president referred to the historic responsibilities of both India and China to uphold multilateralism in the world and work in tandem for peace and prosperity in Asia. This year marks the 75th anniversary of China-India diplomatic relations. Both nations need to handle our relationship from a strategic and long-term perspective. We must also step up to our historic responsibilities to uphold multilateralism, a multipolar world, and more democracy in international institutions and work together for peace and prosperity in Asia and around the world, he said. She also said that India and China should approach their relations from a strategic and long-term perspective. Both sides need to approach and handle our relationship from strategic heights and long-term perspectives so as to realize the sustained, sound, and steady development of our bilateral ties, he said. In an apparent dig at U.S. President Donald Trump's unilateral policies, she said both countries should uphold multilateralism. He said that India and China should also work for a multipolar world and more democracy in international relations. We must also step up our historic responsibility to uphold multilateralism, work together to bring about a multipolar world and more democracy in international relations, and to make our due contributions to peace and prosperity in Asia and around the world, he said. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi said that India is committed to taking forward its ties with China based on mutual trust, respect, and sensitivity. "We are determined to take our relationship forward based on mutual trust, respect, and sensitivity. We extend our best wishes for the successful hosting of the SCO summit, and I thank you for the invitation for this visit and this meeting," he added. PM Modi said the welfare of 2.8 billion people is linked to bilateral cooperation between India and China. The Prime Minister also noted that there is peace and stability along the border following last year's disengagement process, adding that direct flights between the two countries are being resumed. He also made a mention of the resumption of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. "We had a meaningful discussion in Kazan last year. There was peace and stability on the borders during the disengagement process. The Kailash Mansarovar Yatra has also resumed," said PM Modi. "With cooperation between our nations, the interests of 2.8 billion people are associated. This is needed for humanity. It is pertinent to mention that in the last few months, both sides have initiated a series of measures to reset their ties that came under severe strain following the deadly clashes between Indian and Chinese troops in Galwan Valley in June 2020. Also read PM Modi meets Pres Xi in first China visit in 7 years, says committed to improving bilateral ties. Also read SCO summit Xi, Putin and Modi to meet. How does the RIC Troika